Hello there and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Now in this short lesson I want to talk to you about what I'd like to call ugly is beautiful positions. I'm going to show you a few positions and as always talk you through the reasoning afterwards. So let us begin. Now first position, white has a 6-4 to play. Okay, so the correct move is 8-2 and 6-2, which looks pretty ugly, putting those two checkers onto our 2-point. But the issue with any other move here, which would be a big error or a blunder, is that you leave shots for green. So here it's very tempting to want to clear the 14-point because the 13 and 14 combination can be a nuisance to clear. So you may choose to clear the 14 now. However, by doing so, we leave 11 shots for green and you can go through those to see which numbers hit. So we clear the 14 and then we leave green 2-5, 6-1, 4-3, 6-3, 4-5 and double 3. That's 11 out of 36 shots, which is far too many. Particularly when green has a stronger home board, he has a number of spares to make new points. It's simply better to wait to see what happens rather than leave almost a third of rolls for green to hit you. He can escape and hit you and then really turn the game in his favour. So certainly it's better to just play safe here and see what happens. We are also 11 pips up in the race before the roll and 21 pips up in the race after the roll. So usually with a big race lead, we do not want to take any unnecessary risks when playing. So play safe. In the second position, white has a 4-3 to play. Now the correct move is 16-13 and 8-4. Now here it's quite easy to be fooled because green has a blot in his home board and he has several stripped points in the outfield with only 2 checkers on those points. Now normally we like to put a blot in front of a stripped point because then green would have to break the point to hit us, but simply that is too risky here and it's better to play safe and not leave unnecessary shots if you don't need to. Now another important concept here is that green has poor timing. And it means that green is likely to break one of those anchors on a subsequent roll. So one of those points in the outfield, green is going to have to give up, and then it will be safer to bring our checkers around the board without those blocks that green currently has in place. And the blot in board is really an illusion because even if green had 2 blots in his home board, this play would only be wrong by a very borderline amount. So it does look ugly to play 8-4 and 16-13, but it's simply the play that wins the most. So simply do not leave shots if you don't need to. And here, of course, you may think that 16-9 nicely duplicates 2s, and that might lead you to making a significant blunder because, of course, green can hit you and cover with 4s, and it will give him a lot of momentum to bring the game home or even double you out. So certainly don't leave shots if you don't need to. And let's look at this final position. So here we can see that green has a 5' and we have a 5-4 to play as white. So how would you go about making this play? Now the correct move here is 13-8, 10-6, and yes, we do leave a blot on our 11 point which gets picked up with a 6-4 fly shot from green, but that is only 2 rolls out of 36. And here keeping a blot on the 11 point does have a lot of advantages. Firstly, it gives us another builder to make the 5 point or the bar point. And also if green does jump out with a 6 plus a 2 or a 3 for instance, then we have a double shot on green by keeping the blot on the 11 point. So here it is a trade-off. We leave 2 shots, but there is a benefit to keeping the blot back on the 11 point. And you can see that actually anything else would be a big error or a blunder. But now we can look at this comparison, which is instructive, because on the right hand side green has now split the back checkers and now the move is different. So with green's back checkers split, it's much more threatening for us, and therefore on the right hand side it's better to play 11 to 6 and 10 to 6 and not leave a blot on 11 point as before, because by leaving it on 11 point now on the right hand position, we are now leaving 6 rolls as opposed to 2 for green to hit us. 6-4, 6-3 and 5-4. So a lot more dangerous on the right to leave a blot as opposed to on the left. Now this is just a general rule of thumb which doesn't hold true all the time, but sometimes it's okay to leave 2 shots, and often is a case that it's not correct to leave 6 or more shots. So 2 shots good, 6 shots plus bad. So that's something kind of to bear in mind over the board. And shot counting is a skill that is certainly not done enough. Remember that first position where you're leaving 11 shots, it does look misleading, and you may play thinking, oh, it's not that bad, when actually it's very bad to leave shots. So certainly practice, spend a bit of time shot counting over the board, and you can also check out my videos on shot counting and timing and see how you get on. So hope you enjoyed that lesson. Thank you very much. See you next Wednesday. Goodbye.